Round the following numbers to one decimal place. One decimal place means that after the decimal point, we want only one number. Every other number's got to go. So we have 8.32. That means this has got to go. We don't want this. We only want one number after the decimal point. All we want is this. Every other number after it must go. But before we do that, we have to check, is this number here, which is a 2, is it up to a 5 or more than a 5? It is not. If it is up to a 5, we will add 1 to the 3. Because it's not up to a 5 or more than a 5, we will just leave it that way. So our answer is going to be what? Our answer will be what? 8.3. Now, next question here, we've got what? We've got a 4, a 5. Point of 5 and a 9. We want one decimal place. That means after the decimal point, we want only one number. So we want this. We don't want the 9. But wait a minute. Is the 9 up to a 5? Yes, it's up to a 5 and more than a 5. That means we will be adding a 1 to the 5. So we will have what? We will have 4, 5.6. We could see that we have only one number after the decimal point, and that's what we want. That is what we're told to do. One decimal place. So the next number, 378.074. We've got three numbers after the decimal point. We want only one. So let's go. We want only one. That means we want only this one here. But we need to consider the number after it. The number after it is 7. 7 is up to a 5 and more than a 5. That means we'll be adding 1 to this number here. So what will we have? We will have 3, 7, 8. Point. We'll add 1 to the 0. We have a 1. That will be our answer. The last question here. We've got a 1, a 6, a 2, a 8.961. We want only one number out of the decimal point, which is this one here. We need to consider the number after this, after the 9, which is a 6. Is 6 up to a 5? Yes, up to a 5 and more than a 5. That means we're going to be adding 1 to this. If we add 1 to the 9, it's going to give us 10. Automatically, it's going to affect the 8. It's going to affect this one here, the 8. Therefore, we will have what? We'll have 1, 6, 2. So 8 plus a 1 is going to be a 9. Okay, at a decimal point. But remember, we're told that we should round to one decimal place. That means after the decimal point, there must be a number. We know that it's going to be 0, but we still have to write it. So we're going to have 0. So it's going to be 1629.0. Beautiful. Round the following numbers to two decimal places. Okay, that means after the decimal point, we want two numbers. So we have 2.649. That means we want this, we want a 6, we want the 4, but we don't want the 9. We don't want this. Okay, so therefore, we need to check, is this number the third one after the 2 that we told to keep? It's up to 5 and more than 5. That means we're going to add 1 to the number in front of it. So we will have what? We will have 2.65. We're done. Next number, we've got 79.006. We should write this in two decimal places. That means we want this and we want this, and we don't want this. Okay, so therefore we have 7, 9 at the decimal point. We want 2, but wait a minute. This third one is up to 5. Yes, it is. That means we're going to be adding 1 to this. So what we will have 0, and then 0 plus 1 is 1. We're done. Next one, we have 463.974. We want this, but we don't want this because it says 2. decimal places. Okay, so let's do it. So we have, oh, wait a minute. Is this up to a 5? It is not up to a 5. That means we would not be adding a 1 to the 7. Okay, so let's have it. We have 463.97. Okay, and last question. We have 8. We have quite a lot of numbers after the decimal point. But we only want 2 of them. We only want 1 and 2. We don't want 5 and 0 and 1. We don't want these 3 numbers. Okay, so we have what? We have 8.7. Wait a minute. Is this? Oh, this number is up to a 5. Exactly 5. That means we're going to be adding 1 to this. And when we add 1 to the 9, it becomes a 10, and it will automatically affect the number in front of it. So therefore, what we're supposed to have, it cannot be 8.7, so we need to log that off. It's going to be 8.8. 8.8. And then the 9 became a 10, so we can leave it at 8.80. If we say that 0 is not, it doesn't have much value, and we leave it out, that means there's going to be an issue here. It says 2 decimal places. That means we must have exactly 2 numbers after the decimal point. That means we have to go back and add our 0 to keep to the rules. It says 2, and now we ending up with 2 numbers after the decimal point. So the answer is 8.80. Beautiful.